Same path. Same path.
Let's go.
Everyone's pushing. I understand.
100%. I think he hit the grand slam on that issue, made it perfectly clear to the American people where Donald Trump and JD Vance stand, and that is they do not stand with American women, and it is putting women at risk. There are women dying across our country. Governor Walz mentioned one of them in Georgia, who has died because Donald Trump took away the right of a woman to make this decision between her and her doctor.
We're going to try to get in on this, I think.
It was absolutely masterful. You can see why President Trump picked him. You can see this was by far the best performance we've ever seen because President Trump was so successful in his first term. All we have to do is get him back. All we have to do, Tim Walz will stand up there and just lie. And everything about his bio, I think, is just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, how is a public school teacher in Minnesota making 30 trips to China? Future. We're not going to be able to bring down the cost of groceries or bring down the cost of gas. We're not going to be able to make our communities safe. But that's exactly what JD Vance and Donald Trump will do. They will make our communities safe. The other thing, too, I think what was exposed tonight is that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, they're all slogans. There's no substance to any of it. And on answer after answer, Kamala Harris's ticket had nothing to say, but JD Vance showed that the Trump-Vance vision is what's going to save this country.
Well, look, I think what you saw is a guy who, got a date wrong about a field trip that he took, right? Versus a guy who, frankly, called his running mate America's Hitler. He called Donald Trump a Nazi. So this is a real contrast.
How do you do?
How you doing? I mean, we're in the spin room, but there's nothing to spin.
What do you think about the performance of JD Vance?
I thought it was absolutely incredible. I mean, I think he spoke to the people. I think he spoke from the heart. I think he spoke with facts. I think when the people that weren't supposed to do any fact-checking started playing those games, he overruled them with actual facts. I think it was just a masterclass performance. Thankfully, because JD, again, he called it out. They had to cut off his mic, but he was 100% on the facts. They got it wrong, but it doesn't matter. We understand that bias. We don't expect an unbiased debate on mainstream television these days or from the mainstream media.
You see what's going on in the grocery stores, and I don't honestly think that you can get even a remotely fair debate from mainstream media. I don't think it makes any sense. I think the American people have had 4 years under the Harris-Biden administration. They've had 4 years under Donald Trump. When were you better off? When were you safer? We went from a time of peace to a time of war. We went from a time of prosperity to a time of poverty. This is a no-brainer. I don't think a debate is going to change that at this point, and certainly not the way it was handled last time, which I think was just honestly disgusting.
When my hair started to Who won the vice presidential debate? That would pretty clearly be JD Vance. He gave a better, more coherent, more disciplined defense of Donald Trump's policies than Trump himself did at the presidential debate he had with Kamala Harris last month. As for Tim Walz, he stumbled a bit at the start. He dismayed some Democrats by not holding Vance to account for past positions when Vance dodged questions. He did finally find his footing in a question about the outcome of the 2020 election and Trump's role in the January 6th insurrection. But it was the last question of the evening when a lot of viewers had probably changed channels. Here's another question. Does it matter who won the debate? And the answer is probably not. No vice presidential debate has ever had an effect on the outcome of an election. That's because Americans vote for the top of the ticket. So there's this. Vance's strong performance, it just might help persuade Donald Trump to agree to a second presidential debate. Trump may not want his running mate to have the final word in the biggest platform that the campaign can offer. Now, another Trump-Harris debate, That would be something worth scoring.